The flashes went off, the press team was beaming, and the Kensington Palace PR machine was purring like a well-fed cat. Prince William had landed in Brazil for his much-hyped Earthshot appearance, the so-called Royal Redemption Tour. This was meant to be his big, global moment. The future king out to save the planet, pose for cameras, shake hands, and remind the world who's boss. But just as his perfectly choreographed moment began, the internet said, "Hold on a second." Because boom! Prince Harry's name suddenly exploded across every headline from London to Toronto. Harry had just announced his upcoming visit to Canada, and not for some hollow photo op, but for a remembrance event with the True Patriot Love Foundation. A powerful, deeply meaningful occasion honouring veterans and service members. The timing? Impeccable. Because the moment William's jet hit the tarmac in Brazil, Harry's story hit the web. Within hours, all that buzz about William's eco tour evaporated faster than his hairline. Suddenly, the spare had reclaimed the spotlight, and this time he didn't even have to lift a finger. You could almost hear the panic at Kensington Palace. Phones ringing, aides scrambling, and William's jaw tightening so hard it could crack diamonds. While he was busy preaching environmentalism from a private jet, Harry was preparing to honour military heroes. Quietly, gracefully, and with a purpose that made the Palace PR circus look like amateur hour. And right on cue, the royal-friendly media kicked into action. Enter Tom Sykes, the go-to writer whenever the palace needs a little narrative magic. Within hours, an article appeared, dripping with anonymous palace sources, claiming that Harry had disrupted the harmony of William's tour. Harmony? Please. The only thing out of tune was William's ego. The piece even claimed that William's team doesn't believe in coincidences, suggesting Harry timed it on purpose. Translation: We're mad because Harry's getting attention again. It's the same tired routine. Paint Harry as cunning, suggest Meghan Sussex is pulling strings, and pray the tabloids swallow it whole. But this time, the royal PR team overplayed its hand. Badly. Because the more they tried to make Harry look calculated, the more they revealed their own insecurities. Then came the cherry on top. William's people hinting yet again that the future king might redefine the royal family's outer circle. In plain English, another recycled threat to strip Harry and Meghan Sussex of their titles. Honestly, at this point, William waves that threat around more often than he waves at crowds. Harry sneezes. Strip the titles. Harry breathes. Strip the titles. It's his emotional support hobby, a coping mechanism for when the public loves Harry more. The palace dresses this up as streamlining the monarchy, but let's call it what it is: a desperate attempt to control the narrative. They want a monarchy where William and Kate soak in the glory, while Harry and Meghan Sussex are erased from memory. The problem? The world isn't playing along anymore. Because just when the smear machine kicked into gear, Harry's team calmly responded, with class, precision, and receipts. His spokesperson dropped a truth bomb that sent shockwaves through the Royal Comms Department. These events were scheduled nearly a year ago. The date was chosen by the charity, not Prince Harry. The remembrance period runs from November 1st to 11th, as it has since 1918. Then came the knockout punch. The British royal household was informed in advance. Translation: The king knew. Boom! Mic drop. So if King Charles was aware but William wasn't, well, let's just say there were probably shattered teacups in Brazil that night. Harry didn't have to raise his voice or mention William's name. His actions spoke louder than any royal statement. That's not PR. That's quiet power. That's what grace under pressure looks like. While William was busy posing in tailored suits, surrounded by green backdrops and slogans, Harry was standing shoulder to shoulder with real heroes, men and women who've served their countries selflessly. One brother was serving veterans, the other was serving vanity. Naturally, the tabloids went into meltdown mode. The Daily Mail practically combusted, screaming, "Prince Harry issues defiant statement denying claims he tried to upstage William with pseudo-royal trip." Pseudo-royal? Really? The man was born royal, earned respect through military service, and built a global humanitarian brand that doesn't rely on the palace. He doesn't need their titles. The world already sees his worth. Behind the dramatic headlines, though, was sheer panic. They wanted Harry to look reactive. Instead, he looked like the calm professional he's always been, unbothered, composed, and utterly untouchable. The best part? The British public noticed. Can't upstage William if William's already less popular. Another wrote, "Let's face it, Meghan outshone the entire royal family the moment she married in, and they've never forgiven her." That's the truth tabloids refuse to print. It was never about hierarchy or protocol. It was always about envy. For years, Meghan Sussex brought charisma, modernity, and authenticity that rattled the palace walls. The attention she and Harry commanded wasn't borrowed from the crown. It was earned. The firm couldn't handle it then, and they still can't handle it now. One comment that went viral said it best. If William was as confident and however, is completely flexible. William could have chosen any week of the year to host his eco-PR parade. Resist roasting him. One commenter said, "The future king tag's gone straight to William's bald head. Someone get him a humility transplant." Brutal, hilarious, and completely deserved. Because that's the palace's real crisis, himself. And that natural connection, that sincerity, is what terrifies the palace PR machine. Because at the end of the day, one brother wears a crown, the other wears credibility. One gives speeches about the planet, the other actually serves people on it. So while William paces around Brazil wondering why Earthshot didn't trend, Harry's quietly in Toronto, honouring sacrifice, shaking hands with veterans, and proving once again that leadership isn't inherited, it's earned. The palace can leak stories, the tabloids can twist words, and William can throw all the tantrums he wants. But Harry has already won the only crown that matters, the people's respect. And that, right there, is what no PR strategy can buy. If you loved this breakdown and stand with Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex against the toxic double standards of the British media, make sure you hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and drop a super thanks to show your support for truth and authenticity. Because here on Sussex's Squad, we don't just report the royal drama, we expose the hypocrisy behind it.